And we take a lot of suggestions that the community makes in how we should be developing or altering the game. And I've always thought that's very important because you want to listen to the people that are playing your product for hundreds of hours. They know it. They know it better than even sometimes and oftentimes we do. Um,
Greetings, travelers. I'm Gav. I thought that before diving fully into the history of the game and Eterra, that it would be fun to deep dive the company that's behind it all, 11th Hour Games. This is the lore of how an after-hours game studio went from a ragtag group of Redditors to the reality of over 1 million copies of their games sold. In this video, we'll explore how Last Epoch has evolved into a very promising game in the ARPG space and is being welcomed with open arms by fans of the genre.
How did Last Epoch start? Can you tell us a little bit, like what inspired you and what were the steps of starting? How do you make a game?
Yeah, yeah. It's a big one. So how did Last Epoch start? I've always been obsessed with action RPGs. I mean, ever since the early Diablo 2 days before Lord of Destruction, I mean, I was just completely entrenched in love with action RPGs. At this point, I've spent tens of thousands of hours, and that's probably not exaggerating, in playing Diablo 2, Path of Exile, Marvel Heroes, rest in peace, Grim Dawn, and other games in the genre. And so this genre has always been my hobby, and I've always been deeply in love with it, and I've always dreamed of making a game in the genre. So it started by me going out to Reddit and finding other diehard action RPG enthusiasts and saying, hey, who wants to make a video game? I've got a lot of ideas. I spend a lot of time thinking about game design for action RPGs, and I think we can make one that, kind of perfects the formula that makes these games great. And to my surprise, I actually got quite a bit of traction there, and I was able to bring on a lot of other really talented individuals very early to make this after hours project start to, take hold. So really going to Reddit.
That's so cool. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
EHG was formed in 2017 by Judd with no clear direction. He wasn't even a developer or in the games industry at the time. He was just an avid ARPG fan that knew he wanted to make the next great game. His strategy was simple: follow the formula that makes this genre great and that made him fall in love with it in the first place, while also pushing the bar in a lot of other areas. The name 11th Hour Games was coined from his late night after hours project. Judd went to Reddit. He was seeking developers, artists, composers, and so on that all had the same deep love for ARPGs that he did. This is where he met Mike and many others, and they were off to the races.
Hi, I'm Mike. I am one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, working on Last Epoch.
It was a slow process, but Judd's team was growing and gaining traction thanks to all the help from Reddit and other team building methods that he employed. They are and always have been, to my knowledge, a fully remote studio with talent all over the world coming in to push the game even further. 18 months later of unpaid late night work, and they had a playable pre-alpha demo available as part of their Kickstarter campaign.
Hello, my name is Judd Kobler, CEO of 11th Hour Games and Game Director for Last Epoch, the next great action RPG. Last Epoch is a top-down action RPG that combines time travel, engrossing character customization, and endless replayability. Think back to your favorite childhood games, the ones you shared with your closest friends. The games where you could spend countless hours killing monsters, building an awesome character, and hunting for perfect items. Games like this were an essential part of what made me who I am, and this is not only true for me, but the entire team here at 11th Hour Games. Our team has been working on Last Epoch as a passion project for close to a year now. We built a talented team of dedicated ARPG players who are dead set on perfecting the formula that make these games so entertaining, while adding our own touch to the genre.
After a year of hard work, the team had built a playable demo of the game and brought it to Kickstarter to try and secure funding for further and more advanced development on the game. Last Epoch has undergone quite a bit of changes over the years to become what it is today. Since I missed a lot of the early development, I wanted to document it here. But I would say that they've definitely accomplished what they set out to do, and have added their own personal touch to the genre through various innovative changes that are already reshaping the ARPG space. In August 2018, the game went from pre-alpha to 0.5 alpha. This patch introduced a launcher and patcher for streamlined updates, global game chat for community interaction, and a new mastery system, replacing the passive grid and enhancing character progression. January 2019 brought the 0.6 alpha patch, featuring skill enhancements, new skill trees for Black Hole and Bone Golem, class reworks, and updated player models. Additional campaign chapters, quests, and unique item sets broadened the game's content, alongside UI improvements and performance optimizations. April 2019 0.7 patch was the first beta patch. It introduced a new prologue chapter, expanded existing chapters, added a crafting tutorial, and launched their brand new endgame system, the Monolith of Fate. Skills across various classes were significantly enhanced, including new augment trees and abilities for companions. Last Epoch launched on Steam with this patch, introducing beta-exclusive cosmetics and made substantial improvements in UI, visuals, and performance. 0.7 enriched the game's narrative foundation and gameplay depth. December 2020's patch 0.8 beta was a game changer, introducing the rogue class with 2 masteries, Blade Dancer and Marksman, and featuring 17 new skills and specialization trees. It brought dual wielding, Chapter 3's Temple Zone overhaul, enhanced social features, and skill rebalances were also highlighted. 0.8 contained significant mechanics and passive adjustments. Among these were in-game content expansions, new items, uniques, and enemy updates, alongside visual, UI, sound improvements, and optimizations. September of 2021 ushered in the Sands of Majasa update, 0.8.3 beta patch, adding Chapter 9 and revamping the Monolith of Fate.
Hey there, travelers. This is Judd Kobler, Game Director for Last Epoch. Today, we're excited to share a preview of patch 0.8.3, Sands of Majasa, which is releasing Friday, September the 3rd. This update includes the next chapter of Last Epoch's story, where you will venture through the deserts beyond Sorth Ka on your quest to meet the serpent goddess Majasa.
It adjusted in-game balance, modified the arena, and introduced new skills across various classes, alongside mechanics and passive ability updates. Visual improvements, sound enhancements, expanded controller support, and significant optimizations were also included. Enemies received balance adjustments and numerous bug fixes were implemented. In December 2021, the 0.8.4 Eternal Legends beta patch provided significant updates.
Hey there, travelers. This is Judd Kobler, Game Director for Last Epoch. Today, I am thrilled to share with you a preview for our next update, Eternal Legends. Eternal Legends, patch 0.8.4, is set to release tomorrow, December 10th at 1 p.m. Central. In this video, I will cover some of the exciting new content, features, systems, and changes coming with Eternal Legends. This includes the introduction of our new dungeon system, legendary items, a complete overhaul to the Druid class and its transformations, crafting changes, and more. Eternal Legends features Last Epoch's first dungeon, the Temporal Sanctum, the first of many dungeons we intend to introduce in future patches. Dungeons in Last Epoch are side content accessible via finding one-use keys. Each dungeon will give players a dungeon-specific usable ability to overcome challenges presented uniquely by that dungeon, and completing dungeons will provide unique rewards and possibilities.
This patch also brought a Druid rework, new skills like Upheaval and Umbral Blades, and adjustments to existing skills to balance gameplay. Additionally, there were changes to crafting, introducing new mechanics like forging potential and glyphs, and updates to items and uniques. Visual improvements, sound updates, and controller support enhancements were part of this patch as well, alongside optimizations and bug fixes to improve the overall game experience. March 2022's 0.8.5 Depths of Eterra beta patch introduced the Soulfire Bastion and the Lightless Arbor dungeons, each with unique and interesting mechanics.
Hey there, travelers. This is Judd Kobler, Game Director for Last Epoch. Today, I am thrilled to share a preview for our newest Last Epoch update, Depths of Eterra. Depths of Eterra includes 2 new dungeons, the Arena Champion system, new uniques, our Catalyst rework, and so much more. On March 18th, join us in Eterra as new depths sunder open, filled with bellowing fires, necrotic energies, and mountains themselves that will quake to life. Amongst the chaos, those consumed by glory will defend their claim to the name Arena Champions.
The Arena of Champions was introduced, offering battles against class-based champions with varying difficulties and rewards. Significant skill changes aim to balance gameplay. March 2023 brought 0.9 beta, the Convergence patch, introducing up to 4-man multiplayer and social features to add and group up with friends.
Hey there, travelers. I'm Judd Kobler, Game Director for Last Epoch, and today I'm thrilled to bring you the highlights of our long-awaited multiplayer update, Patch 0.9 Convergence. Mark your calendars, bring a friend, and get ready to experience Eterra in a whole new light. Convergence drops on March 9th. For the first time in Last Epoch, you'll be able to adventure through time with up to 4 players in your party. Adding friends and grouping up is easy, and you can start playing together right from the start of the campaign. We've upgraded all end-game content, including the arena, dungeons, and the Monolith of Fate to ensure that group play feels great. For example, in the Monolith, we've introduced a new echo completion system that ensures fair rewards for the full party. And in the arena, we've introduced a group ready check to allow parties to strategically proceed to the next arena wave set when the whole party is ready. In multiplayer, the loot you find drops per player, so you're not having to compete for the same items on the ground. Additionally, if you find an item that would help your allies, you'll be able to gift items to your party members who are fighting alongside you. We will be expanding trade beyond what is in patch 0.9, with our new item faction system announced recently.
Multiplayer systems were added to the arena, dungeons, and the Monolith of Fate. Upgrades were made to animations and visuals. This, on top of UI/UX polish, improved the overall feel of the game. New build-defining uniques and large ailment balance updates were included, alongside updates to the UI counters that now display full stacks of ailments. In May of 2023, beta patch 0.9.1, The Rising Flame, was released, marking a significant milestone in Last Epoch's development. This patch revitalized Chapter 1 with new zones, enemies, and immersive voice acting, setting a new standard for visual quality in the game.
Hey there, travelers. I'm Judd Kobler, Game Director for Last Epoch, and today I'm excited to bring you the highlights of the latest upcoming early access patch, Rising Flames 0.9.1, releasing May 25th. Rising Flames introduces a fully reimagined first chapter of Last Epoch. You, the traveler, find yourself tasked to protect an organization known as the Keepers. This mysterious group is rumored to work for the goddess Eterra herself, as sworn protectors of her most sacred artifact, the Epoch. Amidst a relentless assault from Raya's army, the protection of the Epoch is under threat, as Raya has learned of this artifact's near limitless potential to manipulate both time and space. Eterra's past, as well as its future, hangs in the balance.
It introduced region selection, a beta of the cosmetics store, and an innovative town system. This patch brought about Weaver uniques alongside significant updates to skill animations, projectiles, and unique set items. Substantial improvements in visuals and optimization efforts ensured that Last Epoch not only played better, but looked and performed better than the community had ever seen. September 2023 patch 0.9.2, Runes of Power, unveils the Rune Master, the third mage class mastery, introducing the strategic runic invocation mechanic for elemental manipulation.
Greetings, travelers. I'm Judd Kobler, founder of 11th Hour Games and game director for Last Epoch. We've just returned from our very first Gamescom, where we finally introduced the game and the studio to the world in a major way, and the reception was tremendous. Thousands visited our booth and got hands on our newest mastery, the Rune Master. Today, I'm excited to unveil even more details about the Rune Master and the rest of beta patch 0.9.2, Runes of Power, releasing September 7th. The Rune Master, who joins the Spellblade and the Sorcerer as the final Mage Mastery, is unquestionably the most flexible character class, thanks to his signature spell, Runic Invocation. But let's explore Rune Master's other abilities first. Flame Rush is a channeled movement skill that transforms the mage into a ball of fire. You shoot across the battlefield, damaging enemies along your path.
It debuted the Frostclaw skill in experimental items found via the mages bound in rune prisons. The game also saw one-shot caches introduced that could now be found throughout Eterra and the Monolith system. This update saw overhauls to the Monolith of Fate system with new layouts and ambushes, while also broadening game accessibility with extensive localization. This patch extensively enriches Last Epoch's strategic depth and gameplay variety. February 21st is fast approaching, with 1.0 known to be containing trade factions and systems including the Merchants Guild and the Bazaar, as well as the Circle of Fortune and Prophecies.
How fat is the stack of patch notes for 1.0? It's huge. Like, huge.
The final class masteries of Warlock for Acolyte and Falconer for Rogue will be released, and the reveals have already been received well thus far. The game will see a number of graphical improvements as well, pushing it even further in line with the titans of the genre in this department. Last Epoch is gearing up for a monumental debut. With their roadmap available already and future development in store for this game for years to come. With less than a week away from the full release of Last Epoch, it's impossible not to reflect on the incredible journey that 11th Hour Games has embarked on to get here, with such a unique and humble origin story. From a passionate idea discussed among Redditors, to the formation of a late-night game dev team, to the reality of selling over 1 million copies before even leaving beta, the story of Last Epoch is nothing short of inspirational. It finds itself perfectly positioned between Diablo and Path of Exile. It offers a blend of Diablo's approachability with the depth, complexity, and build diversity of Path of Exile. Yet it carves out its own identity with unparalleled quality of life features and a high replay value that respects your time investment. They have proven that they're willing to shake things up for the betterment of the game and player experience. Path of Exile is already looking at changes to how they approach trade after the unveiling of Last Epoch's trade system.
Previously, we had said that we're not really wanting to change how trade is. But I think, okay, so then the situation now is different because, like people are seeing things like Last Epoch and so on and what they're doing with trade, and the people are like really liking what they're doing. And so then I don't know that we live in a world anymore where the current system that we have is good enough. And so that means that we have to change. And
EHG staff, including Judd himself, are insanely active on Reddit, Discord, their forums, Twitch streams, you name it. They're all just fans like you and I.
How's everybody doing? If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. As always, we stream for charity, right above my head. If you have a question for me, I'd love to answer it. Please put @Last Epoch Game in the question so I can see what it is.
This game is a direct showing of what a tight-knit community and passionate devs can achieve together. I don't think that I've been more excited about a game launch in my entire 32 years on this planet. I'm a dad gamer now, and ARPGs are just perfect for me. It prompted me starting this YouTube channel, and I've trained myself to slow down this time, and really appreciate the game through a different lens. And so far, it's been a blast. I'm going to still try to be competitive and create my own builds, but I'm going in completely blind, so it'll be at a much slower rate, and I'm also planning to cover a lot of the lore and things like that, so everything will just be slowed down for me, but I do plan to try and push the highest ladder rankings and anything else that I can. I've gone through the campaign and took extensive notes on every single action that I, as the adventurer, took, and I also screenshotted every single dialogue in the game. I've got a lot more lore to dig through and a lot of mysteries to uncover in the world of Eterra, but definitely expect videos on that coming very soon. I want to personally thank you if you made it this far into the video Putting this together and learning more about this company and game was a lot of work, but it was honestly a lot of fun. I went through hundreds of Reddit posts and forums, hundreds of hours of interviews and game patch overviews, things like that. Like, it was a lot, but honestly, it made me appreciate EHG and the community that I aim to be a part of even more. Be sure to share your favorite parts of the game or what you're most excited about for launch in the comment section. If you haven't already, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel to stay up to date. It will mostly surround Last Epoch lore and my theories, but I'll also throw in gameplay, read patch notes, which I honestly feel like I'm getting pretty good at this point, and news as well surrounding the game or EHG or whatever pops up. Your support truly means the world to me as I start this journey.